and I'm being creative probably from the moment I open my eyes until the moment I go to sleep. It's passion for what I do that gets me through all of it.
Ghost Cult Magazine welcomes back in the great Jordan Rudess. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thanks for being here. We're so glad to see you again. We saw you right before the world went to hell in 2019, late 2019. You know, it was a busy and big time for you personally with Wired for Madness and Dream Theater Records and tours and technology. And we're through the worst of it, I hope. And here we are. And you're getting ready to go on tour. You've just been on tour, actually, all over the world with Dream Theater and supporting that new album or recent album. And now you're back finally getting some more solo work out on the road.
Almost 2 months on the road with Dream Theater, and it was great. We're running around a whole lot, covering a lot of ground, and now just getting ready to kick off about 20 shows. I think I should have called this tour Me, Myself, and I. Just solo show, doing my thing.
And of course, a hugely different animal than the big, epic Dream Theater tour with sets and set design and a set list every night and things, whereas with your solo show you have, I imagine, a carte blanche to do whatever you want.
Exactly. It's awesome. My background is classical piano, and so I'm kind of put me behind a piano and I'm comfortable performing and doing my own thing. And of course on this tour I'm surrounded by some cool technology, and I've added some interesting elements to it as well. Like I do a little song that we wrote on guitar, and my voice is up to it. I do a couple songs where I'll sing the songs. A little Geo Shred, which is my my music app technology, and all kinds of good stuff going on.
Right on. I saw you do an appearance once where you did sort of a hybrid of a show and also sort of a Q&A, which I also feel like you're a natural storyteller. People don't get that from you at Dream Theater, but one, we've gotten to hear you sing a lot more the last few years, last few releases, and I do feel like you are a natural at storytelling to fans. So I bet it's a real thrill for people to kind of get a little background and insight from you on things.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I love the opportunity to kind of like weave stories. And I play so many different kinds of music that they don't really get to hear, other than the pretty intense mix that is Dream Theater. But I start out the show and I'm playing Bach, and maybe I go back and I play some old like Broadway show tune song, and next thing you know I'm doing this new Dream Theater medley that I put together. So there's a lot of moving around, and I do like to articulate and share with people how all that came together. And it's also really fun for me to introduce people to some of the technology that I'm doing, which is part of the show as well. Like one of the things I'm doing in the spirit of demonstration / entertainment is I work with a company now as an ambassador called Moises. It's like Moses, but put an I in there. And it does this really cool track separation. Basically what that means is one can upload any audio file to the system through their iPhone or Android device. And then the Moises technology takes it apart, does track separation, where like I took the song Moonchild by King Crimson. So when I uploaded it to the system, next thing I know on my device, I've got Greg Lake's voice all by itself. I got the drums, the bass. It's like I had access to the tracks. So I have these almost like unexpected virtual duets that I'm able to do using Moises. So it is fun to tell the story, how I got into this technology, what it is, and then do these fun, duets. So that's also part of the experience.
Wow, that sounds miraculous. That program.
It's amazing. You should download it on your device.
I'm going to, and we'll link it in the description along with all your stuff as well, so people can find it.
Oh, great.
Did you miss touring much? Obviously, again, different animals and different things in the big Dream Theater machine, right? But did you personally miss being able to go out and do little, your own tours?
Yes, I did. But I also made the most of my being at home. I actually had a great time doing my thing at home. One of the things I did in the pretty extended break we had was I put together this Patreon. And for me, besides the Patreon format, which functions nicely for artists, depending on different factors. But one of the best parts of it was I got to think about how I wanted to present myself over social media and some of the tools that would enable me to be more effective, more entertaining, just have a better experience with what I was sharing. Because like, as someone who is kind of a social person in terms of liking to reach out and play for people and kind of share music, when the pandemic first hit, I would just take my phone and I'd literally put it down, my iPhone, put it down on the side of the piano, just facing the keys. I would just play, just offer the music, for free, just play, just let my heart out, and it was cool because people from all over the world, the Dream Theater audience is everywhere. So I'd have, I'm from India, I'm from Brazil, I'm from Japan, I'm from blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, wow, this is amazing. We're sharing. It's, and I love doing that. It's awesome. At a certain point, I was like, I don't know if this is a good statement for the music business, because should I really be giving away all this music for free? We have friends, artists, people out there trying to make a living with this. And here I am playing for free every day. On some level, it was beautiful. We had COVID, I'm sharing music and we're all vibing together. And, but on another level, I was like, I don't think that this is the right thing to do. So I looked around for a format where I could actually feel like, let me allow people to, to give back if they want to. And at the same time, let me up the experience. So I went out and, did research, and I ended up buying all these lights, like with cool colors. And I found out what kind of a video mixer to get. And I researched cameras and all this stuff. Next thing you know, I've got, all this stuff. And it kept getting better and better for the whole period that I was home. So I got to say, even though I really missed being on the road, and there's nothing like playing in front of an audience where they're engaged and it's amazing, I also really enjoyed the tech and the sharing and getting this Patreon going, and just being able to offer that, sitting at my beautiful piano at home, which I can't really find a piano like that. I'm not playing like a beautiful Steinway piano on the stage with Dream Theater, but I am in my house. So there was a lot of really nice things about that period of time.
Right on. I honestly don't know how major artists like Billy Joel tour the country with pianos. They must have a bunch of them. I always find it to be a very temperamental beast, the piano, from place to place and, venue to venue and temperature to temperature and altitude and all the things that can affect the body of that instrument. So, obviously, there's no place like home, and you can always have your own little home environment. Like we have our environment here that everyone sees. And the Patreon has been wonderful. It's not a one-to-one fit for everybody, but you seem to make it work, especially with all the stuff you have going on. I imagine you have like a never-ending source of content to share with your patrons.
And it changes. Like when I was on the road, it was more about taking like walks and sharing where I was, and that kind, it's kind of bringing people into my life, which is definitely part of what I, advertise as the Patreon is about, so really depending on whether I'm home or I'm touring, it's going to go through like these shifts for sure.
Right. Now with the tour about to kick off, obviously, does anything change about your practice regimen beside the material before you go play, or is it the same everyday thing, whether you're doing Dream Theater, your own solo stuff, anything?
No, it definitely changes. Like I've got playing solo shows, like at the piano, it's demanding in a different kind of a way. It's like, it's just me, and I've got to get into a different groove where I'm, covering a lot of ground. I'm playing for a long time. It's not like I can lay back on pads while John Petrucci's playing solo. So from a pianistic keyboardist point of view, it's more demanding, which is great for me because it allows me to spend time focusing on everything, the right, kind of like relaxation techniques and hand positioning and getting that flow back and the dynamics, because all of a sudden I'm not in an environment where it's, 100 dB loud or whatever, and it's just like it's so intense, and the whole thing is that kind of more rock spirit. It's more like I'm at a piano, and I'm kind of making the dynamics happen myself, and I can be really in touch with how much physical energy goes into my hand to make the sound. It's a little hard to balance that out when it's so loud and all the other players. So it really is a different experience. And the other thing, of course, that makes it different is the repertoire is different. I'm playing some Bach in the shows. I put together, I should say, a new Dream Theater medley, instrumental medley, with the help of one of my proteges, Aaron Boschbu, who was the conductor of Breaking the Fourth Wall for Dream Theater, and also was the orchestrator for Explorations, which is my album that I did, for basically like a concerto for keyboards and orchestra. Anyway, Aaron helped, and we put together this pretty amazing, I think it's about 14, 15-minute medley of all Dream Theater music, which is difficult to play. It's hard, but it's very fun. It's really cool. It's hot off the press.
Nice. We're looking forward to that. We're gonna check that out. We're gonna come see you on the tour, which is gonna be very exciting. And obviously the rock never stops, Jordan. You work all the time. I marveled at this before. I don't understand how you have time, and for your family and for yourself. It just seems I would be exhausted just thinking about it. How do you time manage?
I try not to think about it too much. I just kind of do it. But the real answer is that I really love what I do. I wake up in the morning and I'm being creative probably from the moment I open my eyes until the moment I go to sleep. Whether it's making videos with my, software, with my Video Leap software, or whether it's practicing the guitar, or whether it's playing the piano and getting ready for the shows, or playing a show, or anything like that. It's passion for what I do that gets me through all of it.
I wonder if guitar is going to take a more prominent role in your future solo records more than it has already.
It'll definitely take, my next rock album, which is still kind of being formed in my head. I definitely see myself playing more guitar, because although I've only seriously been playing for probably 8 months now, it's coming together pretty quickly, and it's already at a point where I could definitely see myself playing parts and doing a lot of things with it that would be really kind of helpful to the whole sound.
And of course, guitar. I always say that the guitar and piano are the two easiest instruments to start on, and some of the hardest to master. Luckily, you have a buddy that you play with who's he's all right. People know.
Yeah, he's okay.
He's all right. He's okay.
Yeah, I let him hang out with me. He's pretty good. Plays a couple good riffs. Yeah, John. He's incredible, and we laugh because I'm always like, John. I'm playing the guitar, but let's think about it. I've been playing the piano for 57 years, and you've been playing the guitar for 40 some odd years. And, I'm making progress, but these things are a lifetime study, at least for us, they have been. So my thing with the guitar is that I'm someone who just loves focusing on an instrument. I enjoy practicing, making sound, whether it's playing like GeoShred on my iPad, or a Continuum, or these days really on a guitar, and kind of applying my musical mind to this kind of thing, like sitting with a guitar and learning, making up my own exercises is just, it's a combination of it makes me feel more relaxed, more focused, and it's fun. So that's the reason I'm doing it. I'm not expecting to all of a sudden be on stage playing like, duets with John Petrucci. That's not at all what I even have in mind. Although certainly when people see me do it, they're like, "Oh, you guys should play, something together." I'm like, come on, like, in my mind, like, that's John Petrucci you're talking about. I'm on my own little path here, So, but anyway, no, it's been great fun. It's been a great focus, enjoying it, making a lot of progress. And yeah, I will play. And why not? I will play it, my own work.
Selfishly, I would love to get another John album with you, Jordan and John. That record was wonderful, and I'm sure there's unexplored territory there for the both of you. But obviously, you'd have to fit it in between your busy schedules.
Right, you got it.
And also, I definitely don't want to forget that in this period of time, because it was a story you actually broke in our previous interview about Liquid Tension Experiment coming back. Certainly one of my favorite records of the last few years. Thank you. I just want to thank you for getting that, helping get that project back together, you and all the guys. It was really
fantastic.
Marvelous.
And there'll certainly be more of that. Although there's no date right now when it'll happen, but, we were interrupted by a few things, but looking forward to when that happens again, because it was so much fun the last time. It was great to get together with Mike Portnoy and the guys, and just that's something that will welcome again.
I wonder if that experience has led to, you know, Mike showing up at Dream Theater shows and hanging out and reconnecting with all the guys now. Maybe that was the
I'm
door open.
sure. I'm sure. I mean, Mike and I have been friends through the whole thing, but of course it was even rough, with all of us. And every member has their own, relationship together. But, doing the Liquid Tension, it was great, just to get in the room and play music together again and to feel that. And I think probably made Mike feel more comfortable to inch forward to try to, create more of a healing with everybody else. And it was beautiful. He came to the show. I'm sure it wasn't easy. And, a lot of hugs and kisses and, and all was good in the world.
It broke the internet, I'll say that. And it was great to see as a fan and just having followed everybody's careers the whole way. And of course, like, we love Mangini, right? Like, he's incredible. And I interviewed him. The guy's insane. I can't believe the things he does, and we love him. And his work with Dream Theater has been amazing. Over a decade now with Dream Theater, so he's been killing it.
17-8, man, wins Grammys. I'm telling you.
I know. That's it. That's the key. The time signature. Who would have thought a Grammy award for Dream Theater in a very competitive field in a year or two where there, however that works with the Academy, that year was stacked with great contenders, and you beat out a huge field of artists. There's no sympathy votes at the award shows or award shows, but there's nobody gets an award for showing up. Like, you guys put the work in. The album's great, and it was marvelous to see that happen. It was great for
amazing. I mean, it was just amazing because the Grammys are an award where you're voted from your peers. They're basically all the rock and metal guys they're the ones that vote. So it was awesome. I was talking to somebody earlier today about it and saying, for so many years, Dream Theater wasn't part of that world. Like, I don't even think we submitted for a Grammy because we thought we're over here and the Grammys are way over there. There's no chance in hell that we could even be involved. At a certain point in our career, we were like, wait a minute, like, we gotta be noticed, by the world out there. And so we started to make sure we were submitted properly in the categories that would, kind of put energy in that direction. And this was our third nomination this time, actually. And this time, third time's a charm. And so we won it. And it feels really good. I mean, what can you say? I mean, everybody knows what a Grammy is. You talk to anybody on the street, you say, I got a Grammy. They're like, oh my God. They maybe really know what it is, probably not, but it's a trigger word, like an Emmy or a Grammy or this or that. And it does, because of that, that's a big reason that it has a lot of meaning. The other reason it has meaning to me is because it actually has some weight to it, the thing. So, physical weight to it.
Yes.
That's what I mean.
It looks good on the shelf, and you should be proud of it, and we're all proud for you also. And
thanks,
just again,
man. And the final thing I want to say about it is one of the important things that I hope comes out of it is that I hope this opens up people's minds and ears and eyes to some of the amazing musicians that we know, progressive rock, progressive metal in this category, that they deserve to be recognized. Some amazing players and amazing bands that just get ignored by the mainstream. So maybe now that 17-8 has made it to the Grammy stage, maybe some of the other stuff that really deserves that kind of recognition will get it.
Well said. I like to end these interviews with a wildcard question, as you know. Do you have a favorite piece of music of all time?
Well, the first thing that comes into my head when somebody asks that is, well, let's go from an album point of view, I guess. Like, I think my favorite album is Close to the Edge by Yes. There's parts of that album, especially in the UNI section, that just feel so high, like you're so elated. The whole Yes thing was so positive and so grand and epic. And, I think that's probably, it's either my favorite or among my favorite music. When we were touring with Yes years ago, I was really lucky because we opened the show, then they played, and they were playing all of Close to the Edge, I think, that tour. So I would go out and I would listen every night. It was the best tour. Finish the show with Dream Theater, go out, take a seat in the audience, and listen to them play, Close to the Edge. I was like, all right, it's fantastic. So let's go with that one today.
Nice, amazing, and of course, rest in peace, Alan White. What a loss, and
Oh,
very sad
yeah,
and sudden
love the guy.
passing of Alan. He was marvelous, and that was his first record. And they are on tour. Support them on tour, supporting Close to the Edge this summer. Come out and go see Jordan Rudess, and Evening with Jordan will be wonderful. Thank you so much for hanging out with Ghost Cult once again, Jordan. It means a lot to us, and keep doing what you do. Thank you.
Thanks so much, my friend. Awesome. Nice to see you.